What's up guys, it's Lightsparrow here, and today I'm bringing you a video showcasing my latest 6-star in Necro B10. So it does happen to be Fuco, the Wind Lich. You can see the runes and skill ups right here. I'll go through them more in depth afterwards, but all that you really need to note is he's got above 15,000 HP. I think this is actually 16,000 HP. He's got bonus 950 attack, so that's like 1600 attack. The defense isn't really too important. He's super slow, so he's going to be the last one to move on my team. He's got 70 crit rate, which is max if you're using a crit rate buff, which I am using because I have Adrian in the team. 134 crit damage, and he's got above 45 accuracy. The accuracy cap in Necro is 45, as well as it could be worthy of noting that I have the first and second skill maxed. The first skill you want to get at max so you can increase the harmful effect rate on the speed debuff. And the second skill, if you max it, it reduces the cooldown turns. So it is nice to get it max skilled. And he only needs 10 skill ups to be maxed, so it doesn't take too long. But I'll show you the run right here. So far, I've been running this team. Oops, I didn't realize that this was out of the focus a little bit. But anyways, I've been running this team for just today because I made him 6-star today, but I've done like 10 runs and it hasn't even come close to failing yet. So by that logic, this should be a successful run, and you'll see it. And basically in this video, I'm just going to be explaining Fuco in Necro a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar that he is good in Necro. He's a very popular monster. I think he might even be like the number 3, the most used monster in Necro B10. I don't know. He's on the list of the top 15 in the monster debate or whatever it is, the strategy info, but I'm not sure exactly what his position is. And I'll explain why he's so good and why he is probably the best Lich in Necro B10. And it depends on the circumstances. And I'll explain why he's so high, basically. So for those, first I'll go over his skills. Sorry about that. His first skill attacks 2 to 3 times, and each attack has a 40% chance to land speed debuff, but it goes up to 65 when it's maxed. So if he attacks 3 times, then you get 3 hits, each with a 65% chance, so you'll more than likely land a speed debuff. And if he only attacks twice, you still have a good chance because it's still 2 times with a 65% chance each. So it's pretty nice. The second skill attacks 4 times. It attacks 4 times randomly, but on the boss stage, it's only 1 target, so all 4 will hit the boss, and each has a 30% chance to decrease the defense. And the second skill does a ton of damage. We'll see if we can see how much damage it does on this right here. But yeah, second skill does a ton of damage, and you can get it down to 2-turn cooldown if you max skill it, like I did. So we got the defense break on the boss, and I might pause it soon so we can see exactly how much damage it does. I'll pause it now. Let's see how much damage the second skill does. So I'll go to ×1. It looked like I saw a 9.4k on a crit right there. He missed a couple crits because I didn't have crit rate buff. I'm pretty sure I didn't, at least. Because he should, if he had crit rate buff, he would have crit all the times. But I saw a 9.4, but so 9.4 times 4 is like 17 times 2. That's like 34,000 damage. And so 34,000 damage is pretty good. And you saw the runes. They definitely could be better. I believe I have accuracy on slot 6 even. Like I said, I'll show you each rune individually after this run's over. But so that's his second skill. And the third skill makes it so every time he gets a turn, he gets a shield that is proportionate to his level, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how big the shield is, but it's pretty decent. And then also every enemy that attacks him gets a 1-turn speed debuff. Of course, the Necro boss, that doesn't apply to, because when the boss attacks him, the boss gets his shield, which means he can't be debuffed. So the speed debuff does not actually work on the boss. Another thing that I should mention is the second skill of of Fuco, at least in the first stages, if there's a speed debuff on the enemy and he hits them with the second skill, it will stun them. So on the first stages, he does do a little bit of stuns as well. But those are his skill sets. So why people use him is basically because he has the perfect kit for Necro. He's got 2 multi-hit skills with speed debuff and defense break, which are the 2 most important debuffs in Necro, as well as he does really good damage, and because of his passive, he's able to sustain himself. Now the question is, why would you use, which Lich is the best of the 3? And out of the 3, the reason I say only 3, it's because the dark, water, and wind are the only 3 that have the same second skill. The light and the fire have a different second skill, which is not as good, so people don't tend to use those. They tend to just use wind, water, or dark. Now dark, if you're lucky enough to have one, is really good, but most people aren't lucky enough to have one. So when you're just talking about wind and water, the only difference between them really is the passives, which the passives are not similar, but neither of them are really that beneficial to them. The water one's passive is immunity to freeze, sleep, and stun, as well as a 25% anti-crit. So both of them don't really need their passives to do what they do. So whether you should make the wind or the water one is dependent on the rest of your team. Now you can see here, other than this Fuco, my team's all fire. So it makes sense that I make Fuco, because Fuco is my hardest damage dealer. So when he gets taken by the boss, I have a full fire team to kill him, and then he's going to glance on my team back. So if I would have built the water one, I would have glanced when I was trying to kill the water one, and he would have had a chance to kill my Hua. The rest of these guys are probably too tanky for him to die, but this Hua could have died if I had the water lich instead of the wind one. So that is why I picked the Fuco instead of the Rigel. But whatever your team is what, like, whatever element your team is, you should make the make the lich that counters it. So if you have a wind or a water team, then you make the water lich, and if you have a fire team, then make the wind lich. Is basically what it is. So I'll show you the individual runes on him. He's on a violent blade set. Violent revenge is preferred in Necro, but blade works too. You can see this rune. He's gone attack with that rune, crit damage, and yeah, he does have accuracy slot 6. So you can go back and pause those if you want to see each rune individually and compare yours or whatever. But he does room for a lot more damage, as you can see, just given off the fact that he does have accuracy slot 6 instead of attack. And the reason I have accuracy on him is because I want 45 accuracy so he can land the speed debuff and the defense break, and he still does good damage even with accuracy slot 6, so it works pretty well. In terms of Fuco, you'll be seeing this video right here, which is him in Necro. I might make a video of a double Lich Necro team. I might not. I'm not exactly sure on that. And then I might make a video of Fuco in R5 as well as Giants B10, because I believe Fuco can be used in Necro, Giants, and Raids pretty effectively. And that's about it. But getting 3 areas in the game, having a monster that's good in 3 areas of the game is pretty good when considering a lot of other monsters are good in only 1. Like Adrian right here is literally only good in Necro. So yeah. Also, if you guys want to see the team, I'll show you the runes right here real quick. I'm not going to go over them in depth. I'll just let you see the stats and the sets and the skill ups, so you can try and make yours equivalent. This Panda's rune for R5 frontline, so you don't need him to be this tanky or this fast. But I'm using him as a shield breaker in this team. He's on an energy, revenge, and focus, and he is max skilled. The next monster is Colleen, who is also on a raid build. That's why she's this fast. She's on triple revenge. Violent revenge is preferred for Necro. And for the Panda, you want violent, and then you don't need revenge because his second skill revenges, but violent and something on the Panda. But yeah, she's on full revenge, and you can see the stats here. My Adrian is on energy, revenge, and blade, and you can see the stats here. She's on a damage and HP hybrid right now, so she's got crit rate and crit damage as well as HP, and very minimal attack though. And then I showed you guys the Fuco, and then this is the Hua, Double Blade and Revenge, and this one's not max skilled. And here's, you can see the stats right there. And so, like I said, this team has not failed yet. I would say I've done at least 10 runs with it. I don't know exactly the number, but at least 10. And it's working well so far. So if you want to try this team out, tell me how it worked for you in the comments. Or if you have any opinions on Fuco himself in Necro or something else, you can tell me in the comments. But other than that, if there's any other videos you want to see, or if you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can just tell me in the comments. And I'm starting to say in the comments a lot. So I think I'm going to end it there, guys. But yeah, so that's all for today, though. So may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows.